back to the show. Now, we are finally ready to deliver our final recipe of the day. Chefs, you seem to have all cylinders rolling.
Girl, it's a pasta celebration, and for me, I'm really excited because pasta is one of the most versatile ingredients to use, like in different cooking. So let's just get on to this one.
Absolutely. It definitely is all about that comfort food. Now, we're bringing you a pocket full of sunshine with this next recipe. A giant ravioli filled with ooey gooey cheese and a delicious brown butter sauce. A light yet tantalizing and satisfying pasta dish. Tantalizing, satisfying, pasta, I'm all for it.
And a dish.
And a
The dish.
But show us what ingredients we need to actually cook this dish.
This actual dish that we actually get to eat. So to get started, it's very simple. So I've got some cheeses in here. I like to call this somewhat of a 3-cheese dish. So we've got some cream cheese we've added in there. We've got some Parmesan as well as some cheddar. So obviously, like you spoke about that ooey gooiness, that's where that comes from. And then into this, I'm going in with some garlic powder and then as well as some herbs. Herbs of your choice, it's completely up to you. And obviously season well with some salt and some pepper. Now, the biggest thing about this is that this filling is great on its own, but the one thing is we need the zinginess because of the flavors that we're getting into this. We're using a brown butter sauce that in essence is going to tie it all together. For the zinginess that we need, we're going to be using our Clover Classic mayonnaise, and because we like to keep it very balanced wherever we're making food, I'm going to be going with the number 2. If you like your stuff more zingy, definitely go with the number 3 if you want that pop of flavor. But we've got the 1, which is the mild, the 2, which is medium, and the 3, which is very strong. Why are you laughing at me, my friend?
Because you're talking about number 1s and number 2s and number 3s, and I just had a chuck. Carry on.
All right, perfect. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to bind all of this together to give us this flavor profile that I keep talking about. It is important to make sure, like we said, whenever you're filling a ravioli, make sure the filling is not too runny, otherwise it will seep through as you're making the rest of your ravioli. So all we do now is just mix this baby up, and then in essence you're going to show us then, friend, once I've made this filling, how do we put it inside, seal it and cook it.
So we've got a sheet that's about 20 by 30 centimeters in size, so we're going to square that in half. So you sort of want generally 2 evenly sized portions of your pasta dough. Okay, we're just going to dust off that excess amount of flour. Now you can see our filling pali over here. It's quite firm, you know. Good tip, if you find your filling to be a bit loose, stick it into the fridge for a couple of minutes, maybe an hour, just until it just seizes up and pulls itself together. Essentially what you're looking for is for that filling to be soft, but to hold its shape. So you can see it stands there quite proudly, you know, on our pasta sheet, okay? Then what you need to do is just grab a little bit of water. Now, this is the glue that's going to hold the ravioli together. Now, very important, you want to make sure that there's enough water for it to completely seal. We're going to be cooking it in boiling water, so you don't want it to pop up, you know? We want to keep it nice and delicate, so we're going to do that, and I'm going to pop the next sheet over. Okay, and using the underside of my hand, I'm just going to guide that pasta down over the other sheet. You don't want any pockets, any air pockets. Again, you don't want it to explode in your water. And there we go. We've got a lovely little pocket full of sunshine. And now you're probably wondering, what happens next? Oh, my goodness. How do I cut it? Okay. Now, you could just take a knife and just score it, but you want to try and get uniformity if you're making it for a whole group of friends. Grab yourself a little bowl, a glass, pop that over there, and then you just use a knife to just sort of cut around that. So use what you have at home. Please don't go out and buy, you know, unnecessary equipment. You can go out and really spoil yourself with a ravioli cutter. It's got a nice serrated edge. You can use a fork just to make it look pretty. You could literally just, you know, this is purely for decorative purposes. It's not necessary
to bind it.
And then, very important, ladies, pot of boiling water. You can see it's boiling nicely. We're going to just put that in gently, and literally a minute or 2, and it's done. And you know it's done when it starts rising to the surface. So we're going to give it a little bit of time. And you've got a little topping that we're going to pair it with.
Yes, so this is where that brown butter comes in, you know, and with what we've got here is I've got some butter that I added to the pan, and I slowly let it brown. Do not put it on high heat, otherwise it'll burn. And we're not going to eat the actual sage leaves, but we're just putting in there
to infuse the flavor. To infuse
the flavor, and as you can you hear that popping? That's where those the oils in the actual sage are getting released into to actually flavor this brown butter that we're making. Adding some pine nuts to it, and Basically, we're done. I'm just going to season this with salt and pepper, my friend, and we are, in essence, ready to go with
Delicious.
this.
Aibo, is the ravioli already cooked right through?
It's cooked right through, Pali.
So how long was it in the water
That was
for?
literally 1 minute. Now, this pasta was very, very thin, and it's already floating to the surface. So I'm just going to use a slotted spoon just to ladle that.
Now, if you'd like to get your hands on this recipe, simply head over to afternoonexpress.co.za. Chefs, put those aprons down. Let's go eat.
Let's go eat.
There is a classic mayonnaise that brings out the traditional French in 3 levels of tanginess. The mild classic, the medium classic, the strong classic. Tangy the way you love it.
Made with love by Clover.